Hmm? What are you saying here, Soseki? I should never have come to Great Britain. It was a terrible mistake. Haunted by spirits in those accursed lodgings. No doubt my luck would be cursed into Austral as well. My whole life is be damned! What are you thinking, Miss Naruto? He mentioned that once before, didn't he? That his lodgings were cursed, I mean. I wonder if that has more than one meaning. And there is much truth in Mr. Moustache's words. Well, cursed is all the appropriate description, I would say, for the man's lodgings. And indeed, for tomorrow's trial. What's that supposed to mean? Cursed. Cursed. There is definitely some spooky... Well, there is definitely something spooky about his room, at the very least. You would be hunted by Herlock Sholmes, as he just materializes out of thin air, reading books and such. You know, he would just jump scare you, like... Alright, well, joking aside... About the cursed lodgings. When you said accursed lodgings before, you're referring to your room at Mr. Gardev's house, I assume. Do you mean to say you believe the place is cursed? Like, actually cursed? It's been a year now since I came to Great Britain. But I'd only been in London a week before I started to notice strange feelings myself. Well, that didn't take long then. Everywhere I looked, there were foreign faces staring at me, laughing behind my back. Oh! I was sure people were talking about me. I started to become nervous about going outside. They were always staring at me, all the time, from dawn till dusk. So I shut myself away in my room. But even that didn't help. The fear wouldn't go away. You must have been very lonely, having away from your homeland for such a long time. Do you have like any connection to a guy named Tobias Gregson? I mean, he himself is hearing some stuff from folk, and he's being paranoid about the stuff that people are saying around him. What the people are thinking. I've had to move a number of times. Most recently, to that room on Briar Road, a week ago now. Yeah. Like, why did you choose there? It seems a little inconvenient. The rent is cheap. I have so little money, it appeared to me straight away. Of course, I asked why it was so affordable. The landlord just simpered and said, "The room is cursed." Oops! He quickly tried to cover his mistake, but it was too late. So I told him, "If you have something to say, then say it! But if not, don't mention it in the first place!" And yet you still went for it. But it was true. It was all true. You mean the room really is cursed then? Ever since I moved into that windowless hole, hellhole, my sleep has been plagued with nightmares. I wake feeling as though I've been choked to death. And in my waking hours, people are stabbed in front of me as I walk down the street. I'm branded a killer, thrown in prison. Nobody wants to know me. I'm surrounded by scary, sinister spirits. If only there was someone, just one person on my side, and find it in his or her heart to believe in me. Really, no one at all. To believe. To believe. Miss Nutsman, what did you mean by what you said just now? about the trial tomorrow being cursed. No, what? Why are you looking so grave? You're making me nervous. I was just getting carried away, that's all. I didn't mean anything by it. Oh, I see. That's really agitating. You don't mean the trial really is cursed somehow? Are you referring to the prosecutor, the Reaper of the baby? The Reaper? Oh no. What do you mean? Okay, maybe you should... I mean, it's not Soseki's business who the prosecutor is. I don't think that he really needs to know right now. Please, tell me. Summarize it succinctly in 16 salient words. No defendant has ever survived a trial in which the Reaper stands for the prosecution. Ever. Oh my goodness! Can it really be true? That was 16 words exactly! Wow, 16 words exactly. I don't think that Ryunosuke even counted. Did you actually count? Yesterday, Miss Naruto successfully defended someone against the Reaper. But then, after the trial was over, the defendant passed away in unusual circumstances. Yeah, that's true. I did talk about this before. I had my worries that if we are to find Soseki not guilty and he would actually be innocent and such, then I do pray that he would escape from this scot-free. That he would escape from, like, any death. Like, a part of me does think that the unusual deaths after the defendants got their not guilty verdicts, like after the trials, in the trials that Baroque von Zix prosecuted, they were correlated to something very sinister, or that Zix truly believed that those guys were not innocent. So deaths happened, whether because of him or somebody else, we don't know. Or Zix has some fucked up principles slash morals slash he has some fucked up ideas about this. Like, no matter what, the defendant is always gonna be guilty in his eyes. So even if Soseki over here is 100% innocent in our eyes, and he's gonna be proven not guilty with clear, concise evidence, and we would find a true culprit who totally did this, Zix is still gonna go after Soseki, which I hope that won't be the case. I guess we shall see. It is scary. Actually, I probably shouldn't talk about this like right in front of Soseki. Sorry, Soseki. Mr. McGilded. What? I'm impressed, Miss Sato. You have an eye for detail. Actually, the Lord Chief Justice told us. Mr. Sholmes, surely it cannot be that having failed to have the accused convicted, Lord Van Zix killed the man himself. Oh no, he couldn't have, surely. He has some wonderful notions. Oh, whoa! What is with this music? Well, Sholmes, did you put the right song for this one? Sorry? The man isn't a mesmer. He's a court prosecutor, my dear fellow. Oh, yes. Of course he is. Well, is it impossible for a person to be both? Also, I don't know, I'm half expecting Zix to appear, like out of thin air. Ah, of course he is. Then why are you trying to scare me? It could be said, however, that the real truth about the man is even more terrifying than your hypothesis. I don't know what you mean by that. Van Zix is a quite exceptional man. However, in London courts of law, exceptional does not equate to winning every case without exception. Oh, that's good. Sasaki-san looks like he's going to cry tears of joy. As you are no doubt aware, in a British criminal trial, there is both a judge and a jury. The judge officiates based on the letter of the law, whilst the jury offers public opinion and common sense. It is an excellent system, whereby the defendant's guilt is considered from several points of view. However, public opinion, in particular, is somewhat easily manipulated, sadly. Right. We've had first-hand experience in that. Criminals, and corrupt lawyers for that matter, can use it to their advantage. By any means at their disposal, contriving evidence, calling impostors as witnesses, and so on. By such underhand means, those who would want to are able to sway the jury, which means that even in the light of irrefutable evidence, the prosecution can fail. But it means the wrong verdict can be passed. And sadly, it's from time to time, my dear mother. It is simply the reality of the situation. That's alright. However, those indicted by Lord Van Zieks cannot escape justice. Their fate is sealed. Oh my. Although the adjudication may see them leave the courtroom with their freedom, within months they all disappear. It is most striking. Disappear? But how? Ah, by all manner of misfortunes, sir. Perhaps they are trampled under a passing carriage. Perhaps they fall into the Thames and drown. Perhaps they are suddenly overcome by a raging fear. Or perhaps attacked by highwaymen. Oh no, 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 no. All exempt of the reality of events here, no, I'm afraid. Miss Naruto. Man, you would be a great storyteller for horror stories near a campfire with kids around you. You would be a great horror storyteller. I knew it. I'm a dead dodo, done for, doomed. Well then, with all that has been said, Udonosuke, about what Soseki said before about someone believing in him, and all that talk about the Van Zieks, what is gonna be your final thought on this? Mr. Sholmes. Ah, me, Miss Naruto? Pray, what can I do for you? It's about a case on the SS Bureau, if you recall. The Bureau. Ah, that case. The one with the snake? Well, yes. At the time, I was the suspect. But you believed in me and listened to my side of the story. And you helped us to investigate. I did I? Interesting. What I want to know is, why? Why did you believe me? I see. Yes. You mean because you were a grimly dressed, shady Eastern fellow found with the victim in a locked room? Well, if you like, yes. Well, Sholmes is trained to view from multiple perspectives. I'm a little surprised that the answer requires explanation, my dear fellow. It's quite simple. You said, I didn't do it. But I could have been lying. Yeah, but you could have not been lying. Sholmes over here, he doesn't go with one extreme that he thinks that you were lying. He does think of the opposite extreme. Sure, he must have had your doubts. Must have suspected me a little. I think perhaps we have misunderstood. I didn't recall believing in you, nor in that which you were telling me. What? You see, the only things I believe in are those I choose to believe in. Ooh. What? What do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? I make up my own mind about what is to be believed and what is not. If I should like to believe in something, I do. The circumstances can hang as far as I'm concerned. But I could have betrayed your trust. Ah! In that case, I should have made an elementary error of judgment. Nothing more. Betrayal of trust is an overused excuse, in my opinion. Meaning, whether or not one should trust another is, in a final analysis, down to oneself. It isn't a matter of whether or not one can trust oneself. Yes, he's right. He's right. Welcome to them, Mr. Naruto Esquire. Whether or not I can believe myself. Well, it is true. A part of you having a hard time believing if you should continue this, if you believe that Soseki is innocent, it is also partly your mentality of whether you believe in yourself or not. If you truly believe in yourself, then you are definitely going to believe in your Soseki, because you do want to believe in Soseki. If you have a sliver of belief that Soseki is innocent, no matter how slim it is, and you're gonna go all the way through with it. Until, well, it is proven without certainty that Soseki is actually guilty, in which case, well, can you really blame yourself for having trust in somebody? The defense lawyer is only as good as his faith in his client. And that comes down to how much faith he has in himself. And you were so right, Kazuma. Well, my dear fellows, it is time we were leaving, I believe. Already? Visiting hours are over, and the guard will be here shortly to escort us out. There is a restaurant near here that serves excellent trout. Would you care to join me? There is never enough time, is there? No, there is not. Miss Nazme? If you'd like, in the trial tomorrow, I'd be happy to represent you. Look of student, Mr. Naruto Esquire. Alright then, it is on! Let's go and defend Soseki all the way! As I said, I only experienced the British courtroom for the first time yesterday. And although the man I was representing was found not guilty, I lost sight of something crucial. Something crucial? I want to believe in the defendant, justice or the truth. How to believe in the first place, even. But I think I finally worked it out. I decided I must believe in myself above all else. To trust my instinct. Yes, Mr. Naruto. My instincts are telling me that you, Miss Natsume, are innocent of this crime. And it's imperative that we prove that in court. How come still Miss Naruto Esquire? I'll fight for your innocence until the bitter end, with every weapon available to me. So I hope you'll permit me to represent you tomorrow. And to trust Ryonosuke. And we to trust you. As long as we have a working relationship, we can get you out of here. As I said when we first met, I'd like to entrust my fate to someone who will listen to me in my native tongue. Of course, Miss Natsume. It will be fair to say, Miss Naruto, that your mind was, in many ways, made up from the outset. You merely needed the evidence. You merely needed the events of today to fully realize it. Yeah, it's true. He wanted to believe in Saseki. He just didn't have the spirit enough to go all the way. Yes, I think you're right about that. It's been a roundabout journey, but I got there in the end. Miss Sato. Yes? Will you be willing to stand by my side tomorrow and help me in court? Absolutely. As I said this morning, you may consider me your personal judicial assistant. And you can count on me as well, your personal detective assistant. The shocking events of yesterday's trial still weigh heavily on my mind. And it's time to stop looking backwards. Kazuma believed in me, and Mr. Sholmes believes in me now too. So it's time. Time that I learn to believe in myself. Soseki-san has no one. He's all alone. So it's my job to help him, to fight his corner. Tomorrow, in the courtroom, with all the strength I can muster. February 20th, 9:23 a.m. The Old Baby. Defendant's Antechamber. Well, I never expected this. I would have thought we'd be back here again so soon. Yeah, who'd have thunk it? A defense lawyer being here? Like, again? Poof. We're on a study tour of Great Britain, with the intention of learning the country's legal practices. In order to research the latest court procedures here, we need as much court experience as possible. Well, I suppose that's true, but... For the person in the dock, it'll be his or her one and only time in court, and it could be life-changing. In which case, treating it as research may seem a little crass. Yeah, you know, that is true. After a while, we are gonna see this place like dozens and dozens of times. Like, throughout these years as a defense attorney. However, some people view it differently. They are gonna see this place like once, and it may change their lives and such. So, yeah, it is good to take that into account as well. And not treat the space like lightly. Oh, when you put it like that, you're quite right. Good morning! Oh, it's Natsume. Good morning. Sheesh. Your eyes are all red. Oh dear. Are you alright? Your eyes are terribly bloodshot. Yeah, I'm noticing that. The early bird catches the worm, as they say here in Great Britain. Yeah, I've heard that expression. but I really don't want to catch a worm. So I tried desperately not to wake up early, but I was so worried I couldn't catch a wing. And now, I'm absolutely exhausted as a result. Do all literary people are taking things so literally? Okay, that's a good one.
Thank you for putting your faith in us today, Miss Natsume.
I wish I had 9 lives. My whole future hangs in the balance. I'm too terrified to tremble. Wait, because I can feel tremors on the floor. It's a 7 magnitude earthquake that you're producing here. I cannot do this. I cannot take it. Although, welcome student Mr. Naruto Esquire. Yes? And can you just stay calm over here? Just a second ago, you look like you were about to dive right through the window in that position. I caught a glimpse of the public gallery as I walked by the courtroom. It looked like the opening night of the opera. There were so many people. I had no idea my case was such a notorious affair here in London. Yeah. It's kind of like a theater event where you notice a story that has a lot to do with murder. Maybe it is the story of Jack the Ripper killing his victims and such. And that victim will be you, Soseki. Woo! Okay, please don't scare him. Sorry. Do you know why that might be, Mr. Sato?
Sorry, Miss Naruto, but I have no idea.
So that all-knowing look on your face is just coincidence then, is it? Don't hide the truth from me! It's because of the Reaper, isn't it? Lord Van Zeeks? Is that right, Miss Sato?
I purchased as many different newspapers as I could find this morning. And yes, Lord Van Zeeks is on the front page of everyone.
I knew it!
Sometime after the prosecutor was dubbed the Reaper of the Bailey, he stopped appearing in court, it seems. It's been several years now, in fact, until the day before yesterday.
Yeah, Inspector Gretson told us something similar, didn't he? The trial 2 days ago marked Lord Van Zeek's return to the courtroom after a very long hiatus. The trial of Magnus McGillett. Ugh, what a harrowing experience that was.
I believe that appearance made even greater waves here in the capital than today's.
But we wouldn't have realized, of course, having only just arrived in the country.
Why is the Reaper back in the Bailey so soon, for what appears to be a mundane murder? And that's the question the papers are asking. And they are all speculating various answers.
Mundane? Mundane? It's the most significant saga of the century to some of us. You know?
Dear, I mean no offense, Miss Natsume, but that is how the papers are describing it.
Oh, unless we also forget the fact that it could spark an international incident. It would? Obviously, the appearance of this infamous prosecutor has caught people's attention. But there's another blatant similarity with the trial of 2 days ago.
Yeah, I agree.
Welcome, student Mr. Naruto Esquire. It's you. Ryonosuke? What? Me? Oh, I suppose that's true. So, not only did they come for Zeeks, but they also come for you, to see you in action. Oof. The tickets are selling. He can make a lot of bank out of this one. Actually, you know what? Sorry, but I have to go to the bathroom. I'll be back in just a second. Both times, it is you who stands against this legendary prosecutor. It can only mean that you're friends with the Reaper. I don't rub shoulders with Deathbringers. That's mostly due to that. I mean, that's something that my skeleton friend over here does in his spare time.
I thought that there's really only one other explanation. It can only be another example, Miss Naruto, of your uncommon bad luck.
Well, thanks for that. Oh, this is just my luck. Why must I be represented by a man with such frail fortune? By the least lucky lawyer alive. Well, we have made a relationship over here between defendant and the defense lawyer. And we do have something in common. That Yuri Onosuke and Sosuke, you are both unlucky bastards. Now, let's not forget that it was you, Mr. Natsume, who asked me to represent you. Yes, it's true that I was just a student, new to London, with little in the way of experience or skills. Or luck. But I promise you this. I will fight your corner until the bitter end. And I will believe in you, Mr. Natsume. Oh, benevolent Knockham student, Mr. Naruto Esquire.
You're not alone here with us, Miss Natsume. Whatever happens, we will always be on your side.
Oh, benevolent non-locum assistant Miss Mikotobe Esquires. And I'll be here to help you. Sorry, I was going after something. It's not like I was going out there selling some tickets myself. Oh, benevolent non-locum assistant Mr. Death himself. I am in your debt. Forever. I shall never forget this. Mr. Nesme, counsel for the defense. The court session is about to begin. Kindly make your way into the courtroom at once. Alright then, Mr. Natsume. It's time. Let's go. Yes! And this is it. My second appearance in a British courtroom. And my second trial against the Reaper. I hope you're watching over me, Kazuma. Because this time, I won't let my faith waver. I believe my client to the last. And just like you believed in me, I believe I can do this now. I am ready for this fight. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. And I'll call upon the counsel for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution is fully prepared, my lord. The defense is ready, my lord. The defense's detective assistant is ready, my lord. The Nipponese are a truly fascinating breed. Sorry, what? Long Strongheart has told me all about you. Now you are a student who arrived in London 2 days ago. A mere amateur. Do you have a point? You racist fuck? Being a compatriot, you feel compelled to try to help the accused, I suppose. Typical Nipponese arrogance.
Forgive me, but I do not believe arrogance is an appropriate description.
Susato-san?
After all, at our previous encounter, the defendant was found to be innocent.
Very true. And a most fascinating, if dark, trial it was too. The tragic conclusion came later, of course. Here's to the acquitted, and his unfortunate violent end. Hold on, do I see like familiar faces right over here? I think I see the maid, John. And I feel like that guy on the left, that must be Bruce Fairplay, isn't he? Thank you, Counsel. I see both sides are in fine fellow. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, are you ready to carry out your duties here in court as impartial members of the public? You never know when you might be down on your luck, but I believe in fair play for everyone. Hey there, Bruce Fairplay. Interesting to see you here. Man, what a small world.
Well, I must warn you, I'm rather more ruthless than I appear.
Oh well, not me. What you see is what you get. I'm a peace-loving fellow.
I'm afraid to say, I think it's quite possible that mustached foreigner did the deed.
Come on, what are we waiting for? No doubt he did it anyway. Sorry, didn't quite catch that. Very well, let us proceed. Are we gonna have like a running gag over here where the last juror, like juror number 6, is always gonna be an old person? That is not gonna have much to do with this. Cause, I don't know, maybe they're running out of people. Like, competent, young looking people. So they always have to go to the park whenever they are lacking people for the jury duty. Your opening statement, if you please. Lord Van Six. Very recently, Great Britain signed an alliance with a rising power in the Far East. The accused in the dock today is a student from that same land, a certain Mr. Soseki Natsume. And while our country has extended its foreign student the warmest of welcomes, regrettably, the kindness has not been returned. In fact, this student is accused of a most sinister act. Of plunging a knife into the back of an innocent woman who is doing nothing but walking down the street. A knife crime. I tell you from bitter experience, those are the worst. Bloody off they are.
Just look at that swallow complexion and short stature. He's one of those dreadful Japanese.
Come on, let's get this over with. With me now, everyone. 1, 2, 3. Wait. Sorry, didn't quite catch that. Pray, forgive the discourtesy of smashing my hollow chalice here in this great chamber. Allow me to call the first witness to the stand. Very well. Bailiff, lead the inspector in, please.
Hey there, Gregson.
Your name and occupation, please.
Yes, sir. Tobias Gregson, Detective Inspector at Scotland Yard.
Would you please summarize the events of the case for the court, Inspector?
The victim is thought to be a young woman in her 20s by the name of Olive Green.
I beg your pardon, Inspector? Thought to be?
Yes, having been stabbed in the back by her attacker's knife, the victim fell unconscious. That was 3 days ago now, and she's been comatose ever since.
It's such a rare event in my entire life that we're talking about a close murder case, like attempted murder case right over here, and not actual murder. It certainly always makes you think that the victim is actually dead, but no, in this case, she's comatose. And it's easy to think that even to this point because we haven't talked to the victim, like, at all. It certainly makes me question from a storytelling perspective how this is going to influence things. Because if she's going to be comatose throughout the entirety of this trial and we're going to solve the trial, then well, let's see what the point. In that sense, we definitely need to talk to that woman as well. What? So they don't even know who she is for sure? I mean, of course, if she were to come in here that she's good, she's not comatose anymore. It's not like she's gonna tell us the solution to all this and such. Like, she's still gonna tell us some stuff, but it's not gonna be clear. But they are gonna be useful hints. Or maybe from a storytelling perspective, gosh, I don't even want to think about this sort of situation, but let's say that we find Soseki innocent, and we find the true culprit. But finally, this olive green girl is gonna come and talk to us after the trial. She's gonna be out of the comatose state, and she's gonna talk to us, and she's gonna tell us some stuff that are gonna contradict with a case that we just solved. In which case, yet again, we have a case that is technically not solved yet, since there are lingering mysteries. It should definitely be something. Yeah, I mean, imagine if Soseki is actually guilty, that we find him that he's actually the killer, even after we find him innocent with a not guilty verdict. Imagine that kind of thing. Would just torment Ryonosuke. I just feel like in order for Ryonosuke to continue with this and have his spirits up, like for the rest of his defense lawyering career, he definitely needs to succeed this. Because if the same thing is gonna happen as last time, then poor Ryonosuke. I mean, he already had like a bad streak of bad stuff happening to him. I mean, he was suspect in the first case. The second case was not happy whatsoever. I mean, you would think that we would at least catch the culprit because they deserve it, but no. Clearly, Pavlova didn't deserve that. I mean, it was both sad for her and for us. And then we have the third case. Let's see if we can break through the curse in this case, speaking of curses. Comatose. I see. Well, that is rare. I haven't seen such a case in 50 years. It is just as rare as those cases where we're talking about stolen goods. What are those called? Like, theft crimes? Like, for a while I didn't even think that those existed. I thought that murder was the only crime in this place. Fortunately for the Eastern student, the charge will not be murder. Pray, elaborate on the details, Inspector. So, if I could ask everyone to look at this street map. As I mentioned, the incident took place 3 days ago, at around 5 in the afternoon. It happened on the pavement running alongside Briar Road, a wide thoroughfare for horse-drawn vehicles. He had not long since stopped snowing as the victim, Miss Green, was walking down the street. Out of the blue, she was approached from behind by the accused and stabbed in the back. I see. So you're saying that he came from there. From that direction. Luckily, the young lady's life was spared, and she's currently being treated in one of the city's hospitals. But being unconscious as she is, we've been unable to take a statement from her, of course. This is the case file with everything we know about the victim so far. Thank you, Inspector. The court will accept the documents as evidence, if you please.